Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle DeTeach, or Coach Danny D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danny D, and I'm always here to help small businesses play big. And in the Profits in Pajamas podcast, I'm here to help you figure out how to be profitable in your business while also maintaining a work with ease lifestyle so that you're enjoying your life as well as your business, and you're still making money in the process. So today, I'm gonna keep it brief today because today's topic is sick days. So, you know, as business owners, we don't always think about sick days. And I did an episode a while back about mental health days. When you work in corporate environments, private sector, public sector, you hear that term used a lot. Mental health days, and then you have paid time off, and you have your sick days, right? Your sick leave. As business owners, we don't always think about sick leave because we are the business in a lot of cases, or we are an integral part of the business. So there's no one that can step in and be us in the event that there is, an illness or anything like that, right? So I want you to start being really conscious about that, about sick days, because your health is very important. Just one, because you only get one you only get to get go through this process one time, right? Um, but also because again, a lot of times you are such an integral part of the business that when you are sick, when you are, pulled out of the game, or if you know, have a health failing, that's going to have a huge effect on the business. So when I talk about sick days, I want to touch a couple of things that I really would like for you to start thinking about. So one, are you know that I'm team paid and well rested. I'm, anti booked and busy culture. This is one of the reasons why. Because when you're booked and busy, it tends to have a huge effect on your body, your mental state, and it puts you in a position where you're more susceptible to illness. There are a lot of illnesses that are brought on by stress. There are a lot of illnesses that are just easier to catch because your body is tired. And when your body is tired, your immune system is not in the place that it needs to be. And I'll, give an example. I just came off of I just did Balloon Wonderland, which was like a week long big balloon build with a bunch of people. So you're around a lot of people, you're spending a lot of hours working, plus afterwards you're socializing. So you're staying up a little bit later than you normally would, and all of those things, right? So that puts some wear and tear on your body, and that puts a little extra strain on your immune system. And, I came back and I was not feeling well. And, there were some people that had, tested positive for COVID. I tested, I was not positive, but I still was not feeling well. But going into it, I knew that I didn't know that I was going to come back and not feel well, but I knew that I was going to be tired. I'd done a build in the UK prior, and when you finish with this big thing, it's a cathartic moment and you're tired and your body is tired and all your body wants to do is rest. So I knew that I was going to be tired by the end of it. I wasn't expecting to get sick as well, but I had already built a cushion in for myself of a couple of days. So, even though I knew when I was coming back home, I still remained closed in both of my businesses for an extra couple of days so that I could have that time for my body to reset and recharge and get back to where it needed to be. Be conscious of those things. Know when you are having, because there are going to be some weeks that are going to be just intense. You might have a lot of things due. You may have a lot of, client orders. Whatever it is, there are going to be weeks that are going to be intense or stretches of time. It might be even longer than weeks. You may have a particular month that is like your just heavy month that you know, there's just constant, busyness. May was a month like that. When you know that, plan time, downtime for yourself because it gives you an opportunity to keep yourself in better health. Make sure that you are eating well because, when we're busy, we tend to grab what we can and it's not the most nutritious. And again, we're not being a friend to our immune system. We're not letting our immune system, live its best life, right? So be conscious of those things. Be conscious of um, building in breaks in time, building in space to where if you're not feeling well, you're not having to, push all the way through. The last couple of days, of course, I have, emails backed up and everything, but I have the luxury of reading the email, dealing with some stuff that was, more priority, and then taking a nap, taking some medicine, taking a nap. Those things to help you recover. And one of the things that I've noticed since I have been, living this like work with ease lifestyle and been working for myself and everything, I I'm not when I do catch a cold or whatever it is, I'm not sick as long as when I was working. Because when I was working, it was, you only had so many sick days and then you had to hurry up and get back and you're trying to, push through and all of this different stuff. And you're not giving your body the rest that it needs to heal. And so you end up actually being sick longer as opposed to just passing through the cycle when you allow your body to rest so that it can heal. So I want you to be conscious of that, of just making sure you have space and an allotment to be sick because that's going to happen. So you need to be able to have that option. The other thing that I really want you to think about, besides having the space and time, if you are, sick, is giving yourself permission to rest when you need it, giving yourself permission to have that sick day. I just don't feel good. And, I know that sometimes we do have to push through. I have a couple of client orders this week. So I have to push through for those things. But being able to prioritize what is it that I have to push through for? What is it that I can reschedule, redo so that I can be my best self for what I'm putting forward? So that I'm not trying to do things that require me to be thoughtful when I'm just struggling to breathe. That it's just not, it doesn't make sense. So I want you to give yourself permission to take that rest. But I also want you to think about, we talk about sick days, but what about health days? Like, what are the things that we are doing? How are we incorporating things into our lives just as people, entrepreneurs, of course, but just as people, How are we incorporating things into our lives that allow us to stay healthier, that allow us to be in a position that we're not, feeling the stress, that we're not bogged down, that we're not, feeling bad a lot of the time. Because again, when you're, busy, when things are flowing, a lot of times some of those things fall by the wayside. You start to pick up convenience food. So now, you're not eating as well. You may have to cut out some of the exercise that you do because you are trying to get things done. So also let's try to incorporate some more health moments. And you have to decide what that looks like for you. Everybody is going to look different. But what are some little ways that you can make sure that you're taking care of yourself? One of the major ways that we can start to feel ill is dehydration. So something as simple as just drinking more water. Like I know that, in this past week, I didn't drink as much water as I normally do. I 100% know it. And so just drinking more water, um, incorporating more fruits and vegetables, those different things, taking a little walk here and there, those things that help keep you feeling healthy. And, also keep in mind, again, this is more about, like, being sick or sick days, but mental health is a part of that as well. So making sure that you are addressing those things that, if you are a person that has anxiety, how are you dealing with that? How are you, avoiding those triggers? How are you acknowledging those triggers and coming up with um, alternatives? Are you, talking to somebody when you need to? Are you in touch with a therapist? And I'm not going to get too deep into that because like I said, I have an episode that I did about mental health, so you can go back and listen to that episode about mental health. But I really want you to focus on um, your physical health as well. I want you to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you stay healthy, and that when you are feeling sick, you honor that. You honor how you're feeling, and you take the rest that you need to take, and you make the adjustments that you need to make so that you can, come back stronger. And just one more quick thing before I jump off of here and go rest myself is also creating a plan within your business. Y'all know I'm a process girl. I love systems and processes. You can go back and listen to the episode from 2 weeks ago when Sheila Fluker was on, and we talked about systems and processes within your business. And one of the things that is so important is that when you are sick, because sometimes things happen, and last year I had to go into the hospital with my husband, and things like that happen. And what is your contingency plan? Do you have you networked with other, people in your area, or, depending on how your business is set up, it may not necessarily need to be people in your area. It may be, um, more regional than that. But how have you set yourself up for that? So is there somebody that can step in the case that you are out of commission and there are things that need to be done? Do you have systems in place so that that person can easily step in and understand what they need to do? What is the next step? How is that all going to play out? So if that just like kind of, raised a red flag for you, or, you had that moment of like, oh, shoot, what would I do? Um, then it's time. It's time to sit down, and it's time to start documenting your processes. It's time to start thinking out, what are your processes? What are your systems? how can those things be passed along, not just, in case of an emergency, but at any given point, if you need a break, if you want to grow, if, you want to bring on new staff, all of those things require having clear, clean processes. And it's just one less thing to stress about in a moment when you're not feeling well, because you can just, tap into whatever that emergency plan is. Hey, so and so, can you take this over for me? And you have a clear, clean way of communicating that and making that happen. Or if you are in a position where, you know, I hope it doesn't happen to you, but if you're in a position where you're not able to have that conversation, that someone close to you can get everything done, can pass it along, can go, to your desk, so to speak, and pull your active projects and give them to someone else to handle until you're able to do it again. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that on sick days. I just wanted to get your mind thinking about it. Are you giving yourself space to take care of yourself? Make sure that you're here for the long run. Make sure that you're doing everything so that you can really truly enjoy your life and your business. Are you giving yourself space for that? Are you giving yourself space to avoid getting sick by, doing those preventative measures and taking care of yourself on a daily basis to kind of, avoid that? You can't avoid it completely, no matter how much you do. There's going to be times that you're going to get sick, but you can try to mitigate it as much as possible. So, are you doing those things? And is your business prepared for you to take sick days? So that's what I'm going to leave you with, because I need to go and take the rest of my sick day and just, slowly come back into working and getting stuff done, but being very mindful of how I feel and when my body needs rest. So that's it for this week. I can't wait to see you guys back here next week with another wonderful topic. And of course, go back, and if you haven't watched all of the episodes either on YouTube, if you're watching, or listen to the podcast episodes on your favorite podcast app. If you haven't, go back and binge listen. And if I know some of my balloon community are in their sick beds this week. So if you're in your sick bed, it's a good time to binge listen and get some great ideas. I love to listen to podcasts as I rest, or as I'm inflating. So have a great rest of your week. See you guys next week. And always do something in your business to play big. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDannyD.com.